Get that garbage. Yeah. Get it. Apple II computers, their keyboards are quite large. Well, I mean, the box under them was mostly empty space because people were used to the size of typewriters, and they wanted them to be familiar with the size. I read a book by Steve Wozniak, who designed the Apple II computer, and he was the original partner of Steve Jobs. I don't remember too many details from this book other than the Pope asked him to stop telling so many Pollock jokes. My sophomore year in high school, or sooner, I had a Commodore 64 computer at home. And did pretty much the same thing with it. I wrote journals. Um, I, I had games, but I didn't play very many of them. I would play chess with it later on. I remember buying Battle Chess, which was animated. And then when the rook would move, he'd get up and he'd stomp across the screen, and the king would pull out a gun and shoot. And I don't know what else I had. Once a week, we'd fire up the generator when running the washing machine and charge up some car batteries, and then use an inverter to power the Commodore. The only appliance I can remember that we used those batteries. We had radio, but we used Duracells for those. My junior year, we moved to Juneau, the capital, 90 miles south of Haines. In the city, we had real electricity and phone and water and all that good stuff. And we drove up to our house. At school they had Apple II GSs, and they could read the same software, so I could continue working on my writing, which is a 14-page Fiji journal was my main project at that time. And the Commodore 64 at home, I kept journals, and also upgraded to a 128K. But I don't know if I did anything different with that than with the 64K. And we did use an Apple II for our robotics competition senior year. And Roger Bertram wrote the code for that. and we were responsible for it. I mean, he could put it on the test, and we'd have to understand what it meant. I worked on the designing the solenoid cylinder with Dave. Get a bit of a different angle on it now. The sun has moved.